Increased attention to mental health is being praised by medical professionals across the board, and now specific areas that require special attention are being highlighted. One such area is known as complex trauma, and the Blue Knot Foundation is devoted to helping people living with it. Joining me now is Blue Knot President, Dr. Cathy Kezelman, and the organisation's brand new ambassador, Sarah Monahan. Thank you both so much for joining me today. Cathy, I might start with you if I may. What is complex trauma and how many Australians are living with it?
So complex trauma refers to the impact of people who've experienced abuse, neglect, violence, exploitation. That can occur at any part of the life cycle, and often repeatedly so. And we know it affects more than 5 million Australian adults.
So that's about 1 in 4.
1 in 4.
So
it's a very big number.
A very big number indeed.
Yeah.
Sarah, I think it's fair to say that you lived through extraordinary trauma, firstly in private, without people knowing about it, and then later in a very public way when you brought the man who abused you when you were a child actor on the TV show Hey Dad to justice.
Yep.
So what has your journey with complex trauma been like?
I think that was very private and I had to hold it all in. And then during the court case, a lot of that was very traumatic. I think that was actually a lot more traumatic than a lot of the things I experienced as a child, just because it was so public and so intense, and it was the first big case in the country. And so there was a lot of blowback. But then I learnt to deal with it, and I learnt to, I think the biggest thing is you have to heal, or you have to work on yourself, because otherwise if you cut yourself and you bleed on other people that didn't hurt you. So I hurt a lot of people in my life going through that, and I had to learn how to be nicer again, I guess. But now I'm doing really, really good. Like, I've come back to Australia. I'm in a very good place. I'm happy. And I think it's just,
Can we introduce Teddy? I know you have a very special friend who helps you out a lot.
So this
is Teddy.
So Teddy's my assistant's dog, and he does a lot of work because he knows when I get agitated or anything like that, and he comes up, and even if I'm looking at the phone and reading too many emails, he'll push the phone out of my hand and be like, all right, calm time. So he gives me lots of kisses and hugs, and he also helps with my hearing impairment. But yeah, dogs are great.
Teddy was an American dog, and you had to, when you moved home to Australia, it was quite complicated to bring him with you.
It took him a year to bring him back.
It was very important that you got here, young Teddy. When did you feel you could safely come back to Australia?
So I knew as soon as we had done the final parole hearing and he was being deported. I also had some calls from network people I was suddenly being invited back to the industry, and knowing that he was no longer on Australian soil and I didn't have to share earth with him anymore, that was very healing, because going through each year doing the parole process can be very tough. I'm going to put him back down. But knowing that I could come home and everybody was nice again, and I was like feeling so happy, and so I think that was when that process ended.
Cathy, I think I already know the answer to this question, but why is Sarah the perfect ambassador for the Blue Knot Foundation?
Well, Sarah tells it as it is, and Sarah's been incredibly courageous and gone through quite a process. And she also shows that there is a pathway through this. It's not easy, it's far from easy.
It's a lot of work.
And it can take a lot of time, but over time you can really find a, really positive, constructive life where you're building relationships, you're back where you belong, and there's a future. And I think that's a really, really important message.
Blue Knot's celebrating its 30th anniversary. You must have seen some changes in that time, mostly in, I think, in a reduction of the stigma towards talking about mental health. But what are some of the benchmark achievements that you feel you've made at Blue Knot?
Look, as an organisation, I think we've put complex trauma on the map, and that sounds a bit trite, but people didn't understand what it means and didn't understand what experiencing repeated, often extreme trauma over time can do, and the fact that it can impact you, right into old age unless you get the support. But also the message is that, healing and recovery is absolutely possible, but that, it's very important to hold on to the hope even when you feel that there isn't any. And if you can't hold it yourself, hopefully other people around will be there to hear, listen and believe and support you on that pathway.
Sarah, if anyone watching right now is dealing with complex trauma or living with complex trauma, what can they do? What should they do?
I think the first thing is acknowledging that you have it, and then finding someone like Blue Knot that you can go to and talk about it and deal with things. Because I think the most important thing is also dealing with it and not just trying to, you know, push it down and hide it and not deal with it.
Cathy, is there a website?
Of course there is. It's blueknot, BLUEKNOT.org.au.
And there are tools there that
There's
people
lots
can
of
use?
resources and videos, and there's also a helpline you can call, 1300 657 380, that operates 9 to 5, 7 days a week. Talk to a trauma counsellor.
Just extraordinary. You are such a light in people's lives, Sarah, for everything you've been through, and again, now putting yourself in a position to help other people who might be going through something. So thank you so much for coming and talking about it today.
Well, thank you guys for having us.
Really appreciate it. And Dr.
Thank you so much.
Kezelman, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Up next, all the day's entertainment news.